Nigel went out drinking with a gang last night. They ran up against some Templars and killed one. But Nigel was too sozzled to get away. Knew the constables have him up for murder.
Been romancing Henry with your... Have you? Don't strike a false note.
Shut your trap. I didn't do nothing. You're dead, lad. You got no cause to lock me up. They all say the same thing.
This is going to go bad for you. Confess, and you'll save us all some grief.
I didn't do nothing. So help me, Bob. Miss Evie, we kept buying drinks. The next thing I know, they say I burnt someone.
Oh, Nigel.
I had one too many and lost all my things. They must be scatters all about. Oh, and there's a knife out there too. Could you get them before the Rozzers do?
Yeah! Shut up!
This isn't it. What's that over there? Please, shut your trap. I didn't do nothing. You're dead, lad. You got no cause to lock me up. They all say the same thing.
What do you reckon she's up to?
Occupied. Must be something here somewhere.
The Chief Inspector is due any second. Right, lads, find some evidence before the Chief Inspector arrives.
The guilty party doesn't have a hat. If you find a hat that fits him, that's a death warrant.
What's happening?
Bless her, she's gone scatterbrained.
The lad's a bad penny. You can tell just by looking at him.
We'll find a knife if I'm not mistaken.
And what evidence are you holding this man?
Why, Sergeant?
I believe at a minimum you need a body.
We can't find a thing, Inspector.
You botched another one, Sergeant.
How nice to see you again, Mr. Dickens. Is it time for another of the Ghost Club stories?
As a matter of fact, yes. Follow me. Number 50, Berkeley Square. 4 stories high and branded, "Beware all those who enter." There have been many strange tales of this dreadful domicile. The earliest report of a haunting was said to be the spectre of a small girl who was murdered by a servant. She could be seen at the attic windows, weeping and wringing her little hands in an agony of despair. Another legend claims the attic is haunted by the spirit of a young woman who purportedly threw herself from the top floor windows to escape her abusive uncle. Her screaming ghost has reportedly been sighted hanging from the window ledge. This residence was briefly owned by a Mr. James Jasper, a choir master and an opium addict. His nephew Edward was betrothed to one of Mr. Jasper's pupils, the fair and delicate Rose. However, Edward disappeared under mysterious circumstances, followed by Jasper himself. Perhaps grief sent him back to the soothing arms of his narcotic mistress.
Easy, girl. There you go.
Shall we? Though this house is vacant, some say it comes alive at night with screams of terror, ringing bells, and slamming shutters. Although eerie, this phenomenon is easily produced by pneumatic tubes and valves. There are claims that a young man was caged in the attic, his only connection to the rest of the world a tiny hole in the door. A young man who was reduced to madness by this extreme isolation. The legends all seem to focus on one room in particular. A sudden draft, nothing more. My word, perhaps I shall wait here while you investigate the source of that laughter, which is not at all unsettling.
They'll end up in the river.
One more misstep and me missus will put me out on the street. You just need to imagine a map in your mind.
Flatterer. Come on, give it here. It's not worth prison.
Sure. Let me go, you city.
I've found a lock, but
It's here.
so this is how it works.
Impressive.
Get out of my house!
back, Charles.
I did it in my mind! And I did it over and over again! In this room! But it was all for nothing!
There was no one whose love for Rosa came near to equaling mine. It should have been enough to keep my beloved nephew away. My poor Ned. Forgive.
Alas, the myth has been discredited. There was no ghost in Berkeley Square, just a wretched soul, driven to murder and madness by guilt and intoxication. I think this is the makings of a rather fine novel. I wonder if I've got one left in me.
Your attempts to influence Parliament for the Indian cause have failed. You must do more.
I will not jeopardize my relationship with Queen and country to satisfy your crusade.
Your Highness, you belong to India, not here acting the part of a noble foreigner.
I have wasted enough time indulging in this
If your
nonsense.
mother could see you now, the last Maharaja of Punjab, basking inside his golden cage.
How dare you?
I always recommend bringing someone's mother into the argument.
If he doesn't help his people, he will regret it forever.
How may we help?
Will you talk to him? He won't listen to me.
We'll do our best.
It's a bloody great duck shoot out there. I've been raking it in for years. You should come out, you old bugger.
It's very tempting. It does not show.
Your Highness, you have guests.
I suppose Mr. Green sent you.
Bringing up your mother was...
Impolite, and he was wrong to do so. We'd like to rectify the situation.
Then humor me, and join me in a shooting game. None of these people have any sense of enjoyment, and I am bored to death.
A shooting game? Seeing you haven't changed at all.
Ellsworth? My word! How good it is to see you! The mother country has treated you well. Jacob and Evie Fry, this is Brinley Ellsworth, a friend from a past life.
You've made new friends, I see.
What brings you to this part of the Empire?
Ah, company business, unfortunately. But I could not resist the chance of seeing you again. It's been far too long. I've heard nobody throws a party better than my dearest friend. I'm eager to see if your reputation overseas holds any truth.
My servant Thomas will be scoring the game.
Acquire the most amount of points by shooting the bottles in front of you. Each bottle is worth 1 point. You have 30 seconds. May the best shot win. Start the timer. points.
Come, Thomas. This isn't enough of a challenge. Let's shorten the timer.
Round 2 will now commence. Try and do as well, if not better, within a 20-second time limit. Timer at the ready. Begin! A perfect score!
I do believe you are equally matched with this one, Singh.
Your turn, Your Highness.
Come, let us see if you are better with a gun than you were with a slingshot.
Allow me.
Impressive. I am in awe, Singh. What they say of you is true.
Sir, I believe I heard a second shot.
He's right. That sounded like a second gunshot. Strange.
Let me see what I can find out.
I'm sure it wasn't anything serious. Don't bother.
I've been doing this a long time. I know the difference between 1 shot and 2. There were most definitely 2 shots.
A second shot? I didn't hear anything. There was no one else. Who would shoot a gun at a party?
Are you suggesting this is a serious matter? It was most likely just an echo. Leave it be now.
What are you on about? Guns are prohibited in the gardens.
I saw the man in front of me with a gun. I just assumed it was part of the decor. You know how royalty likes to socialize.
That prince is causing problems. He deserves to be silenced.
Kill him!
Open your tongue out! You too will be silent!
Should have spent a bullet on you two. Let's see how warm your innards are.
The Templar seal. What are they up to now?
Stephen, but you make it.
You're still here?
About that second shot.
It was nothing, Miss Fry. Now, I must return to the party.
Yes, do fill me in on your life here. It's been far too long.
Of course. Apologies, Your Highness. Henry will want to hear of this.
Any progress?
We've got a problem. We aren't the only ones seeking him out.
Don't tell me the British Indies Company is harassing him again. They can't afford it.
Worse, they're not acting alone. And Mr. Singh wants to be left out of it.
The Templars? It can't be.
We have to convince him to act quickly, or he'll be in deeper waters than he already is.
Meet me back at my old shop. I might know something that can help.
Miss Fry. What a pleasant surprise.
Hello, Clara. I was just going to check on Lambeth since the asylum's closing. What brings you here?
The children in my care have been falling ill. Our usual tonics aren't working. I came to...
Are you certain you're feeling all right?
Of course, I am, miss.
Clara! Is there a doctor nearby?
Bring her inside. She simply collapsed.
Yes, she said the others took tonic, but it didn't work.
I should think not. Ever since Elliotson was murdered, the district has been overrun with counterfeit tonics. This one needs proper care. But without the appropriate medication, she and the others will quickly decline.
What do you need?
I need supplies. Plenty of them. And medicine. Some of the less common ingredients are being stolen and sold at auction.
I'd be happy to help.
Here's the list. Miss
Fry. Evie Fry.
I'm Miss Nightingale. How do you do? Please hurry. We don't have much time.
Come on. Here now. Move it! Atta girl. Easy.
It's just that it's so expensive. Yes.
It's the very best. Hurry up! Our stock is already running out. Step back to the counter.
That kind of thing makes me sick.
This opportunity comes from practically giving it away. Whatever you're looking for.
Come on! There you go. Calmly.
They're for whoever pays the most money.
Wait till I get home.
I can't thank you enough. These supplies are meant for Miss Nightingale.
I'm here to collect them.
They're already loaded on the cart. Please take them.
Giddy up!
You mean that card?
Yes.
Of course it is.
Please be careful. Some of those items are fragile.
That's it. Easy now.
You're back. And not a moment too soon. I hope you brought the medication I requested.
How is she?
She will recover.
Pablo and Ellie, the children.
Thanks to you, we can distribute authentic medicine now.
But is that a permanent solution?
I will petition to have regulations put in place.
Lambert is in your debt.
It takes a long time to change things. But I'm not going anywhere, Miss Fry.
My write-up of that last crime was so ingenious that Purlock Publishing tossed me quite a tidy sum. I believe this next one will do even better.
It's baffling. The room was locked. How did the murderer get in and out?
I should go back and ask about this. I should go back and ask about this. I should go back and ask about this. I wonder if someone could tell me more about this.
I'm just the housekeeper, but Mr. Casham was a dear friend. Each morning I bring him his coffee. Today his door was locked shut. My husband is the caretaker. We live downstairs. We have the keys to all the apartments, so after knocking, I became concerned and let myself in and found him like this. The lights weren't working. My husband didn't want to waste any candles, so we retired early. Mr. Cashin was a respected music critic, a very accomplished man.
Gone just like that, eh? He lived right next door and often came home from his concerts a bit drunk and singing at the top of his lungs. Drove my wife near crazy. Cashin had an eye for the ladies, no question. I was a bit jealous of him, frankly. I was down in the cellar, fiddling with my experiments. That belongs to Mr. Golden. He's an awfully nice chap. We let him use our apartment during the day when my wife and I are out tending our shop. He likes to rehearse here where the light's better. I'm an amateur chemist. Henman let me set up a few experiments in the cellar.
I should go back and ask about this.
Mr. Cashin is dead? I just saw him yesterday. He looked in the peak of health. If you ask me, he paid a bit too much attention to the caretaker's wife. Scandalous, really. They must have seen each other nearly every day. Last night, I was knitting in that chair. Then I felt quite sickly and opened the window to clear my head. I certainly didn't hear anything. When the lights quit working yesterday, that sweet Mr. Golden handed out candles to everyone. He's such a nice man.
I believe I should re-interrogate a suspect.
I work very late. So did he. I only met him once or twice in the 2 years I've been living here. I was out giving a benefit recital for unemployed musicians. Several dozen people can attest to my whereabouts. I use them to create an ambience when I hold private recitals.
I believe I should re-interrogate a suspect. I believe I should re-interrogate a suspect.
Mr. Cashin's dead. Difficult to believe. He led a quiet life. Out at concerts most nights. Shut up in his room writing the rest of the time. He must have been a lonely man. My wife felt sorry for him and helped him as often as she could. I'm in charge of the running and upkeep of the whole building, so I can get dirty now and then. I was just doing some work in the basement.
I should return and find out about this.
I forgot to put it away after I fixed Mr. Golden's music stand yesterday morning. I left it there, and he came to give it back. The gas quit working yesterday. I don't know enough to fix such things safely myself. A man from the company is going to come by tomorrow.
Ah, yes, be careful with that. It can be dangerous. It reacts badly with heat.
It's true. I loved him. He was the best thing that ever happened to me.
He destroyed an entire orchestra. All those musicians put out of work. A rancorous old man who had no talent or creativity of his own.
I suspect there was more to that mystery than meets the eye. I'm going to look into it.
Up to the clink with you!
Here's an especially exciting one. Perfect for a penny dreadful.
A famous professor dies twice.
That's once more than usual. Twice as many sales. My name will soon be known across the nation.
Now that I've seen this, I should ask more questions. Well now, I didn't ask about this. I should return and find out about this.
have you got coming in here like this?
It's unthinkable. Such a great man. We were still in mourning from the burial. He was buried yesterday in the family plot. My father was an eminent anthropologist and something of an explorer. He made his name by investigating the practices of a small village in the Congo. His colleagues at the university often sent him trinkets from abroad. This is no time to talk about the will. It is true that my father and my fiancée didn't get on, but I'm confident that once he got to know her as a daughter-in-law, they would have become friends.
It's so very awful. The professor died of an heart attack just days ago. Then tonight, I hear pounding at the door. I open it to find him bleeding and in pain. He tried to say something, then collapsed dead. Again. He got that a few days ago. Inside was a statue. I thought it was a marvel. But he told me it was quite common. I don't know who sent it. He kept repeating, Barkesso, Barkesso, over and over. What does it mean? Spider? Let's get that out of here. Emmett is definitely afraid of spiders.
Lovely man, and quite wealthy. I only wish he had lived to bless my alliance with his son. I'm sorry to hear about that. Do you know whether that change was actually made? I hoped you wouldn't find that. I'm afraid several of the faculty purchase cadavers for research purposes. It's a fact of university life.
I should return and find out about this. I should go back and ask about this.
An eminent colleague. He wrote prolifically. Probably no one will ever amass the amount of knowledge he acquired. I'm most vexed about that. A rare specimen of the sort I've been studying for years. It escaped a few days ago, no doubt due to that scatterbrained assistant Virginia. My thesis subject. My South American colleagues tell me that this particular arachnid is only found in the Bolivian Andes. Fascinating subject.
I should go back and ask about this.
The anthropological sciences have lost a great mind. He revolutionized the field. It is my fond hope that I may inherit his mantle. Which one is that? Sorry, difficult to read. I've lost my spectacles somewhere. I recently traveled to Africa in order to continue studies on the indigenous tribe Professor Bing discovered some time ago.
It's not.
Now that I've heard this, I should ask the others some questions.
He showed up again. First time that's happened in 35 years of grave digging. I saw the son lock the tomb myself.
I believe I should re-interrogate a suspect.
Body snatching? That's an insult. I'd be in the slammer quick as that if I got caught. So I sell a body or two on the side. A man's got to eat, ain't he? I broke the lock and left him on a barrow just behind his tomb. It was dark, couldn't really see. But some fella come by and carted the old professor off. It's muddy back there. You can likely still see the tracks. It's plain that 7 guineas is a lot for a bloke like me. I'm careful with me pennies and save for a rainy day.
Yes, that's mine. I misplaced a similar one, possibly at the funeral. I was so upset.
I required his knowledge in order to become the greatest anthropologist in the British Empire, and his beloved tribe of savages provided the method.
That Professor Silas was particularly cunning and gruesome. Mr. Raymond will be thrilled.
Up to the click with you.
Think of that. Crushed by a crate. The most hated man in London.
Can you imagine achieving such a title? One day my brilliance will bring me similar recognition.
Mr. Raymond, what are you talking about?
It's of no consequence. What's important is that this man was hated by many. But who delivered the fatal blow?
What's all that then?
I believe I should re-interrogate a suspect. I wonder if someone could tell me more about this.
The man's a right bastard. I hope he's smouldering in hell. Well, I'm not a crane operator. I wouldn't know how to work that. My best chum is maimed for life, and Ashton didn't care a fig. He deserved what happened. Beyond that, I'm mum.
He owned this site and paid us. We all hated him because he looked for any excuse to cheat us out of our wages. I didn't hate him any more or less than my mates. That's around the time I'm given a few minutes to eat something. About then I would have been buying myself an apple at the stand down the street. It's difficult to work properly. You'd have to know what you're doing to drop it at just the right moment. Eddie? Yeah, I taught him how to work the crane a few days ago.
I know the man. He's hated by everyone. Surprisingly, it's not clear what killed him. I find multiple wounds. No need to send many people to jail for killing such a terrible man. What say you only arrest the single person who actually caused his death? He appears to have been stabbed with a perforating weapon, perhaps a spike of some kind. There would be bleeding and it would affect motor control right away, but death wouldn't come for another 6 minutes.
I suspect that there is at least one deadly toxin in his system.
He's my husband. Each day I bring him the household expenses just after he eats his apple. I also brought him his invitation to the knighthood ceremony, the one with the special scepter. Of course, he wasn't going to take me along. I often tie up my hair around a knitting needle. What business is it of yours?
He stopped by here every day at the exact same time. He'd buy an apple and try to cheat me out of tuppence. But then most folks do that. Yeah, that sounds right. Came by for an apple. He was here when we heard the crate hit the ground.
I believe I should re-interrogate a suspect.
Ashton stops in front of this pub every afternoon to check on business rumours. Something of a bastard, Ashton. Told me he had a bit of jam on the side, if you know what I mean. Wife didn't know about it. Well, the bit of jam wants out, but he won't let her. That's the sort of fellow we're speaking of. That was Ashton's doing. The man had it in for me. He paid workers to wreck my machines. Cost me a fortune. As long as he was around, I'd never prosper. As a matter of fact, I do carry a revolver at all times. It can be a dangerous neighborhood for a wealthy fella such as myself. This proves nothing.
Stupid nag. Come on, bloody Pegasus.
Well now, I didn't ask about this.
I see him here every day. He can be unpleasant, but I don't really know him.
He's been coming to me for years. He arrives precisely at 1 o'clock and leaves 2 minutes later. He takes a bluish medication every day and prefers that I administer it. This really is none of your business. He came to me for his blue medication. I gave him blue medication. Mary is a trusted assistant. As far as I know, she's completely above board. Today, she swept the shop and prepared some medications. She also fetched herself an apple from the apple stand.
Girl who works at the pharmacy? Yeah, she slipped me an extra threepence. She had a special apple just for Mr. Ashton. I gave him that one when he come by. Mr. Ashton did look strange-like. Eyes all yellowish. And then he turned pale after he bit into the apple. Almost green, really. quite right. I asked the apple seller to give him a special apple. Is that a crime? He was a horrid man. That's all I have to say.
Very well. I found out about his dalliance with that girl from the pharmacy. It's not the first. Divorce is all but impossible given his influence with the clergy. I'll be the toast of the town.
A very unpleasant fellow. But what was that business about a knighthood ceremony?
Up to the clink with you!
In any case, Mr. Raymond will have a story for Purlock Publishing.